You called the Baker Mayfield situation dormant now. Why would it be dormant? Lack of interest at the, is it a money thing? The Browns won't eat his salary. There's nothing on the table they consider worthy of Baker Mayfield. He wants to go someplace that's not willing to take him. Why would this be dormant right now?
He's due $18.8 million fully guaranteed at a time that the Browns are not simply going to give him away, and they don't intend to release him, and there just aren't very many starting jobs available. So if he's going to be traded to, let's say, hypothetically, a Tampa, which, of course, may want a young guy to groom. They got Kyle Trask there, too, but maybe you're thinking ahead and you want the next guy behind Tom Brady. You're not going to take on Baker Mayfield, who right now would be making double what your starting quarterback, the greatest who's ever played, Tom Brady, is making. So you would need Cleveland to eat a chunk of that money. Now, I can tell you, when Cleveland was initially having trade calls, they did not want to eat money, and the price was pretty high. It's pretty similar to what all these quarterbacks do. They wanted a second-round pick and something else for Baker Mayfield. At this stage, it is difficult to believe that he's going to get that. I think that I know that there are teams who did not have Baker Mayfield, with a first-round grade coming out in the draft several years ago. So that's a factor, too, your prior evaluations. And then what happened when he played hurt last year. I don't think that there are 32 better quarterbacks than Baker Mayfield in the NFL if you get back to the 2020 Baker Mayfield. But, again, the money and the draft pick compensation and the situation all have to line up for Baker Mayfield. I do anticipate he's going to be wearing a different jersey, certainly by week one and most likely by the start of training camp. But for the Browns, the way that they look at things, there's really not a big rush on him. His contract's already fully guaranteed. That's a change from the prior CBA. They would have been able to get out of it before the start of the league year under the old collective bargaining agreement. Now you're locked into that money, and ultimately you may have to eat some of it to move on from him. So they can stand pat, see what else might happen, what crazy thing is behind door number two that, nobody would have thought 2 weeks ago that Matt Ryan would end up with the Colts after a failed push by the Falcons at Deshaun Watson. There's dominoes all over the place, and right now it's hard to predict where they're going to fall.
Yeah, and what's the escrow check that the Haslams are going to have to scratch for Deshaun Watson? Well, how much is that check going to be?
It's $184 million after the $46 million they pay him this year. I think they get a credit for about $15 million of that, but that's a big reason that teams don't want to do this. The owners aren't, they're not rich guys for no reason. Having $180 million sitting there in a bank rather than being able to, play in the market and make money off it is not ideal for anybody. And there's absolutely owners and other, GMs who are upset about, the contract and the way that it was structured and the amount of fully guaranteed money, not only because of the situation with Deshaun Watson, but as one league executive or team executive earlier respect put it, they just changed the entire landscape of economics in the NFL. And now every agent, every player is going to want a similar type of deal. We'll see who's willing to go there. It's changed how people are going to look at this moving forward.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.